On to a much more important topic than me working at Abercrombie & Fitch. New York City Mayor Adams warns the migrant crisis will be coming, quote, to a neighborhood near you, end quote, unless the federal government takes action.
The warning comes as the city's shelters hit maximum capacity. And then look at this. All the migrants were forced to sleep out on the streets, some in cardboard boxes.
Sure. Fox Business Network's Madison Allworth is live in New York City with the very latest. And Madison, you don't have to go very far to see the problem.
No, you really don't. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is both a shelter and the migrant intake center. So that's where any migrant that wants to come in and stay in a New York City shelter has to come. We've been here multiple times over the last 2 months. I have never seen it this bad. Hundreds of migrants arriving every day. They are at capacity, and we are now in a situation where migrants are being forced to sleep on the street outside this hotel, making tent cities, setting up cardboard boxes, you name it. According to the mayor of New York City, this is going to be happening from coast to coast.
Eventually, this was going to come to a neighborhood near you. Having someone embedded is a good start. That came from the Secretary of Homeland Security. We want to thank him. But I've been very clear on what we need. We need to control the border. We need to call a state of emergency, and we need to properly fund this national crisis.
All right, so I want to explain what he meant by embedded. So in an effort for help, Mayor Adams met with the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas last week to ask for all of those things he mentioned. What New York City got was a DHS liaison, someone who will be based here to help strengthen communication between City Hall and the Biden administration. Since last spring, over 90,000 migrants have come through New York City. Now we have migrants sleeping on the street, tent cities popping up to house them. Some elected officials say the message the Biden administration is sending is clear.
Asked the president for help. He hasn't offered anything, a few $1 million here and there. That's not going to do it. And then we get a liaison. That's a kick in the head. It's essentially the president is saying to the mayor, drop dead.
So New York City has received just over $104 million from FEMA to help with the crisis. This crisis expected to cost $4.3 billion by next summer. That $104 million, that covers just about 13 days of migrant care. Democrats are upset that this is the way a Democrat-run city is being rewarded. Things have gotten so bad that Holden says New York City is now looking into removing their status as a sanctuary city, and they are going through the courts to do so. I'll send it back to you guys.
I wonder how will that change things? You just won't get, if you're not a sanctuary state, you won't get as many illegal immigrants?
I do think that part of the draw would then be, yes, diverting people elsewhere, but it could make things worse in the short term for New York City residents because sanctuary city means if you come to New York City, you're guaranteed housing. If you don't have housing and you're here, you're sleeping on the streets.
And that's what they're doing right now. Madison, thank you very much for the live report.